And can't play the soprano as well.
And if somebody's not playing well, you can always give them the hook with that.
Yes, you can give them the hook.
I don't see anything modern compared to that except the flute. I imagine. Oh, wow. That is a great sound.
And it has a double reed in it. You can't see the reed because it's hidden inside that chamber.
Is that obscene also?
No, it's not obscene. It's, but this is called a wind cap instrument because the wind cap covers the reed and the reed does not actually touch the lips. A reed that would touch the lips is called an open reed. This is a closed or a wind cap reed. And this is the tenor of the family. This is the alto. And
is there any double reed instruments playing today?
Wind cap double reeds?
Yeah.
No, wind cap double reeds are fairly obsolete in modern ensembles. All of these instruments are obsolete in modern ensembles. That is, you do not find these instruments except for special effects and for special situations in the symphony orchestra or the symphonic band or the wind ensemble. They have been supplanted by their modern counterparts, but they are kept alive by people, strange people, you know, like me, and people like the Recorder Society and so forth. This is the bass of the Crumhorn group. Excuse me, I'm having trouble with my lower keys.
I'm glad that's what it was. I was... Whew.
But there's a low C for you. And again, there's a double reed inside this big wind cap right here. That's the family of Crumhorns.
Is there something you guys can play together with one of these?
We don't have any Renaissance music. She brought this little harpsichord along today to play Baroque music with the recorders, but I can play.
That sounds like the only way you can replicate it now is through an electrical, it sounds like computer game music is what I'm trying to...
This is another family of wind cap double reeds. They're straight instead of having the characteristic J shape, and these are called cornemuse. Cornemuse is the singular. Cornemuse, you might say, how can cornemuse anyone, but you guys have been doing that for years. It's very difficult for me to play that because the holes are so close together. It's a little bit easier for me to play the alto cornemuse. The only instrument that has a built-in mute. If you take that out, all of a sudden you get a buzzier sound.
That's such a unique sound. Why do people not play it today?
Well, the thing is, it is a characteristic sound of early and ancient music. And these instruments were the forerunners, the predecessors of the modern double reeds, which are the oboe, the English horn, and the bassoon. And those are the instruments that are playing today. And they have a more sophisticated sound, of course, have a wider range, more dynamic range. That is, this instrument can play one level, soft. It cannot play softer than soft, and it cannot play louder than that. It plays this. Whereas an oboe or an English horn or bassoon can play softer than this and louder than this. That's called dynamic range. Wind cap instruments are infamous for having monodynamic range.
So the wind cap is what gives it that unique sound? Is that,
yes.
Is that what gives it that
I have a couple of instruments here, however, that are reed-in-the-mouth instruments that I want to show you quickly. First is this. This was considered to be the greatest wind instrument of the Renaissance. It is the direct predecessor of the Baroque bassoon, which is, of course, the direct predecessor of the modern bassoon. It's called a curtail. That's an English word, means cannon on wheels, sort of like howitzer, you know. And when this is a German instrument, when the English saw it, they thought it looked like a cannon, so they called it a curtail. The German name is dulcian, and it is quite a mighty instrument. It sounds like a primitive bassoon. That's the curtail, and it is a double bore. It starts here, goes down, makes a U-turn, and comes back up out there. And that's the reason it can be that low pitched, is because it really you have two instruments in one. Then I have another reed in the mouth instrument. The hookah pipe, yes.
Look, how'd you know that, Mr.
Because
Poe?
you know what, Alice in Wonderland, there was a caterpillar that
Mr. Poe,
smoked one of those.
Oh.
you are intimately familiar with hookah pipes, are you?
I told you what my reference was, my frame of reference. Childhood story.
Okay, this has also been called, of course, a garlic grinder, a pepper grinder, but it is, in fact, a baroque ranket, R-A-N-K-E-T-T, ranket. And it is a very bassy instrument because inside this wooden canister are loops and loops of copper tubing, sort of like this, and they just go around and around and they come up where they have to, where the holes are. And when you play the ranket,
Oh.
and it's got a low note down here.
Please.
My reed is not wet enough. However, it sounds like we don't want that note anyway.
Were you pursuing that instrument? Was it hard to find, or when did you
I've
get
only owned this one for 2 weeks, too, as you perhaps can tell, but you would be kind not to say that.
It's better than Mr. Stock's banjo playing.
But it is a nice instrument. It's a freestanding instrument, you know. You can find places to set it.
It's very
See,
interesting.
do that with your saxophone. It was considered to be a great instrument in its time. And it had a more ancient brother, the Renaissance racket, went back further than this, but this is the Baroque ranket, and it is quite a weird, of course, bizarre instrument.